What is going on, Racing Games fans? We've got a very special video for you today. Toby Durant of RacingGames was lucky enough to chat to James Baldwin recently. Here's how the interview went.
That really kind of strange opportunity that I never expected to happen came about very last minute ahead of event two. I got a call the night before the Wednesday, which is when the first race is and the qualifying is shown, saying, "Do I want to jump on the show and just be like a pundit slash expert, as you say?" And I was like, well, I can't really deny that opportunity. Although I wasn't, expecting the call, and whatever plans I had, I was like, I'll just throw them away. I'll go and do that. It sounds like a very good opportunity. Obviously, F1 Esports, the biggest racing esports there is at the moment. I've done two shows or two events with four shows. It's been really cool. I mean, it's completely different to anything I've ever done live TV as such. I've enjoyed it, and obviously the people that are doing it as well, like they're really nice. They were very welcoming and kind of appreciated, I suppose, the expertise I've got in racing esports. So, no, good fun. Well, a lot of us racing esports sim racers have, Twitch stream experience. So we know what it's like to be live and what to say, what not to say. So you don't obviously want to get cancelled or anything like that. But it's different because you're not sat behind a rig. You're not in your own environment, in your own room. You're in a studio where you're surrounded by professionals, and they've all been on kind of TV before, so they're used to it. And it's a different sort of pressure because you only get a certain amount of time to talk about something, and you have to say something constructive and something that people want to listen to. Don't just come out of waffle. So I was very conscious of that. It's a different sort of pressure. Not very much. It's not really in my comfort zone. Obviously, driving and racing and say the pressure on a quali lap is more in my comfort zone because it's what I do. But that is very different. I wouldn't. I'm not really thinking about making this a full time thing or transitioning into it full time. A string to the bow, isn't it? It's a skill to have. And one day, should I stop racing or sim racing doesn't quite justify it as a job for myself anymore, or however that goes down, I suppose it is something to fall back on or something to do on the side or do something at the same time as racing. The one thing I did have in my head before I did this is I was wary that people may see me doing it and be like, "Oh, he's stopped racing now. He's stopped driving. He's hung up his boots and he's just doing this instead. He's washed up." So I was kind of wary of that. Listen, I don't enjoy as much as driving. I'll be honest, but it's enjoyable because it's talking about something that I am passionate about. So it's easy in that sense. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe one day I'll just be doing that and not the driving. Lucas has found something in himself mentally. He's more consistent than he was before. He's quicker than he was before. They've clearly upped the preparation at Aston Martin because even Danny Haddad is made an improvement from last year. Whatever he's done, he needs to keep it going, obviously, for years to come. And he was strong in a couple of different series before F1 Esports this year. So he's clearly done something with himself, whether he's gone full time with it and he wasn't before, or he's changed his approach. Whatever it is, it's working. So Barry Burman has been, to many people, a bit of a surprise. Not to me. I wouldn't say shocked me. I knew he'd be up there. To be honest, I thought he'd be in the hunt for the championship. He's been a bit unlucky at various points in the season. Danny Moreno, I think, has been very unlucky. I think he should be in the fight as well because he's had arguably the same pace as Jarno for the majority of it. So he's been a bit unfortunate, but there's seasons to come where he'll be up there. And I obviously saw firsthand last year that as a teammate to Danny, he was very quick. I'd say Danny Bresnay is probably the biggest surprise for me. He's not had the form he's had in previous seasons. Very strange what's going on there, but hopefully he can dig deep and come back next season strong. So I'd say the biggest surprise is probably Danny Bresnay, but Barry Burman for sure has shocked a lot of people. Yeah, Imola, great circuit. And very narrow, not a lot of room for error, a bit like Zandvoort. If you go off, you're on the grass or on the gravel and you're off. So it's going to be interesting. I think qualifying will be very good to watch. The racing should be, well, you would have thought it'd be not too great because obviously it's narrow and the dirty air will kick in and there'll be a bit of a DRS train. But who knows? It's F1 Esports. It's not real life F1. So it's all about who can be the most precise around Imola, using the curbs. It's a new circuit. I have no idea who's going to be at the front. Should be the usual suspects, but we'll see. Well, usually in F1 Esports, qualifying really is everything because it's hard to overtake. If you've got the qualifying pace, you more than likely have the race pace in most cases. But this year's been very weird in that sense. It's been a bit different. Jarno has been very smart in certain situations where he's put the right tyre on against the odds, and instead of running the full wet, he's gone on the intermediate and he's made it work, and he's come back from 14th on the grid. So he was a bit of a pioneer in that sense. He did it before a lot of others, but he got fortunate as well. It's weather. Weather could have gone against him. It could have rained more. So qualifying pace, as I say, it usually is priority. And one person I'd say that's not really worked for is Barry, as you said. Put it on pole, and there's been a few scenarios where his race paces and strategy have not really paid off. I know Mercedes in the race as a team are very, very strong in terms of their pace, but the strategy they use as well, they've got it on lock pretty much. I think if you were to prioritize one, though, you would prioritize quali. It makes the race a lot easier. I mean, anything can happen in F1 Esports. I think, of course, Danny Moreno can be up there and take a win or 2 or 3. You just don't know who'll be strong at the event, who's in the right headspace. But from Jarno's point of view, I don't think he'll be thinking about, Danny, can you please get a win off the others? I think he'll be thinking, I'm going to win all of them. That's the approach all of them will have. But Freddie's obviously it's a bit different to the others in the way he thinks. As you say, he doesn't really like this. He doesn't like Imola from his social media, but he'll be quick. He will be quick, and he's always there. He's been there for every season pretty much of F1 Esports. He's the only driver really that can say he's been at the front every single season. So the guy's an animal. I just think he should have won one already by now, a championship. So I think he will do it this time around, but I could be wrong. Any one of those 3 can win it. It's going to be so close to call, but it's going to be good to watch. So